How you doing, everyone? Good to hear. So I've been thinking about karma lately. When I was younger, I used to make fun of my dad for being bald, and I was being a little shit. So, like when my parents were talking about when he lost his hair, and I was like, oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. I kept making fun of him, and then he gave me a dirty look. And then my mom said, you know, you're gonna be looking like him in 20 years from now. And I was looking at her, I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna lose these luscious curly locks on my head. I'm 26, bald. Karma's a bitch, right? And so when my dad was in his 40s, you know, he started wearing he needed glasses, so he kept going like this, reading stuff. And I used to make fun of him. I was like, oh my god, Dad, you need fucking glasses. Then my mom chiped in again. She's like, that's gonna be you in 10 years. I'm like, yeah, right. Wearing fucking glasses, right? That's fucked up. So then my dad, you know, started having bad back, and I was looking at him the other day. I was like, not saying shit this time. Fuck that. I like my back. So speaking of being bald, I know there's a stereotype, you know, bald white guys, you know, skinheads. And so I decided I'm going to change the meaning of it. So instead of, you know, the typical, you know, hate black people, I hate white people who can tan. I'm pale. If I go outside, I start fucking sizzling, guys. So every time I see somebody doesn't put on sunscreen, acting like they're fucking royalty, while the rest of us have to scurry away like cockroaches into the shade. I was at Disneyland, and I was like, I saw a little shade, and I saw the pale people, and I was like, oh, it's like a buddy system. So I ran over, and I was like, hey man, do you have any sunscreen? I put on the entire bottle, and I started fucking sizzling still. Another one to like the whole karma thing, my mom always told me to wear sunscreen, and I'm like, Mom, stop. She still tells me even though I'm 26. And it was just a few years ago when I used to work at the movie theater. I went to the Shoreline Amphitheater for a concert. Me and my friends didn't wear sunblock. We thought we'd be cool. And then I got second-degree burns on my face. And so next day I went to work at the movie theater. I used to work the podium. I was ripping tickets, and my forehead started plusing. That's gross, right? And then it was awkward. I didn't want to be on podium, but they forced me to be on podium. So then all these customers would walk up, you know, I'm like, oh, down the hall to the right, and then they would just stop, and then a little plus. And then they would just look at me all awkward, and like, And it wouldn't stop. I kept wiping my forehead. The next customer is like, oh yeah, down the hall to the just all this pus coming out of my forehead, to eventually where they started complaining, and I had to get off. That's just how pale I am, guys. Just wanted to tell you about that. So, stand-up comedy has always been a guilty pleasure of mine. I always wanted to do it. It took me 8 years just to get on stage. This is my 4th time. And another guilty pleasure of mine is boy band NSYNC. But I don't feel guilty about that anymore. Fucking love these NSYNC. Fucking love them. I was actually disappointed by their performance on the VMAs, I think it was. They didn't put on... I wanted them to come back so bad. I was getting tired of fucking seeing Backstreet Boys getting to shine. Then 98 Degrees came back. Then I was like, oh god, then NSYNC has to come back. I was fucking stoked. I actually had a DVR, and I'm like, oh my god. I was telling my friends, I'm like, guys, NSYNC's coming back. And like, dude, you're the one who fucking cares. My sister used to be a big fan of NSYNC, and she doesn't even care anymore. So that's kind of weird that her 26-year-old brother's into NSYNC. But one morning I had the urge, this was like a couple years ago, I had the urge on a Friday morning to get up. I got 9 in the morning and start dancing to NSYNC. I went up to my computer, blasted, my phone blast, I had the window open, started doing the moves. So don't be alarmed, I'm gonna reenact one. So I was listening to this song, Bye Bye Bye. Do you guys know that song? Fucking Backstreet Boy fans here? Alright, if you don't know the song Bye Bye, it goes like this. Bye Bye Bye. Not doing it justice, guys, not doing it justice. Justin Timberlake does it better than I do. I love Justin. I used to have curly hair like him, and I thought I was just like him. Anyways, that's off the point. But so I was dancing in sync, rocking my shit, and then I started smelling cigarette smoke inside my window. I'm like, that's weird. I was like in the zone. No one in my family smokes. And then in the middle of my dance, I jumped over, and then the pool guy was standing outside my window with a cigarette hanging from his lip. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He's cleaning the pool, then he hears the sink, and he turns around, he sees a grown-ass white guy dancing in the sink, full blast. We made eye contact, and then I just left my room. It's like, what are you supposed to say to us? Like, hi, sir, and keep dancing in sync? No, it doesn't work that way. So, has anybody here been to a strip club before? Woo! Alright. So the first time I ever went to the strip club, before I talk about that, you know how like you watch movies and then like all your guy friends are like fucking stoked about going to the strip club? That's how me and my friends were too. We were 18, 19, we went to the Pink Poodle, we thought we were fucking cool. Then you go inside and it's the most uncomfortable feeling ever. And so I ended up being the creepy guy in the back. I was sitting next to like the shower scene, and then this guy, there's like a little curtain. This guy's watching a shower show, and he's going woohoo! And then I'm just sitting there uncomfortable. And then there's my friend Jeremy. This is when we used to work at the movie theater. He was an assistant manager, and then he was talking to a stripper, like bragging. He's like, "Yeah, I'm an assistant manager at a movie theater. I can get you free tickets." And he kept pointing at me. He's like, "Yeah, that's my employee. I can tell him to do whatever I want." I'm like, dude, why are you bragging to a stripper about being assistant manager at a movie theater and get her free movie tickets? It's like, that's not cool, man. What's weird is the next day he added her on fucking MySpace. This is when MySpace used to be cool. She was in his top 8. And I was like, what the fuck, Jeremy? You're creepy. And then like later on that night, like he kept begging me for like a lap dance. He's like, bro, give me $20. I need a lap dance really bad. I'm like, Jeremy, you make more money than I did, man. I think you can afford a lap dance. And the next thing I know, he's at the fucking stage, he's tied. No, that's later. So like the stripper's like putting her ass in his face, and then he rips her G-string with his teeth. Like, I was like, I've never seen this guy like this before. Like, he was a whole new fucking person at the strip club. Even our friend Brian, who is we like to call him a dirty dick. Yeah, it's only cool with my friends, I guess, that we call each other that. Moving on. Another Jeremy story, like one time at Halloween, we all got pretty drunk, and then our friend Freddie jerked him off. It's a good story, I'll start. Okay, so our friend Freddie, he's known as the alcoholic in our group. So we were at this party, so everybody got a bunch of rooms, and I guess Freddie broke into the room. I don't know how he did it, but... And then like the next morning, Jeremy came out, he's like, guys, Freddie jerked me off. And then we all looked at him, we were speechless. And then I was like, oh, just tell us the story. He's like, I thought it was Brittany, but Brittany was in front of me, and then she wasn't even facing me, and there was someone behind me, and it was like, it was an uncomfortable story. So I looked at him like, bro, it's like, you don't know the difference between your girlfriend's hand and Freddie's hand, a friend you had since middle school. And he's like, dude, like, it was in the moment, I was sleeping. Sorry guys, I bombed that joke. I thought it would be funny. One thing I'm going to talk about is work. So there's this new controversy at work. I primarily work with Vietnamese people, and so I just found out they don't like black people. So then we have one black guy on our shift, and then so we're all in the clock-in room. Then he walks in, and they all got quiet. They all just like looked at him like this, and then he walked to the clocking machine, and they all like followed his line. He clocked in, and he went to work, and then like this one guy is like, "Who's the fucking black guy?" Looking at me like skinhead, you know? Hey man, oh that's Kyle. He seems okay. And then I only know they don't like black people is because we're talking about they were betting. I guess the Vietnamese like to bet, gamble, and stuff like that. And this one guy was telling me all his secrets. Like, yeah, man, we don't bet on black quarterbacks. If an NFL team has a black quarterback, we don't bet on it. I was like, you know, whatever, man. All right, guys, that's my time.
You guys ready for your headliner tonight? You guys ready?